Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. It looked like the man had been taken over with an appetite that stopped all thought. The atmosphere grew more peaceful, and the epitaph investigation team split up for the time being. But Ava kept staring at the paper the epitaph was written on like she was going to burn a hole through it. Playing around with the letters was nothing more than a theory of mine. There's a chance it's mistaken. Ava-san, don't take it too seriously, okay? Thank you. I'll just keep doing this on my own. Would you mind leaving me alone? Ava spoke coldly. Kairi didn't bother her anymore and instead went to help Natsui prepare breakfast. Nason? Shouldn't we also help prepare breakfast? Okay, guys, what was Maria originally supposed to be named? We never answered that question. That came up and we just sort of ignored it and everyone decided they didn't care. I'm looking that up now myself. Okay, Google. It's telling me there isn't a specific supposed to be named, but the word Maria means sea of bitterness. Okay, that doesn't really give me any answers. Though, was the thing mentioning that Maria looks like what Beatrice looked like as a small child? Why Kenzo knows this, I don't know. Then again, apparently Rosa looks very much like Beatrice, so who knows what's happening there. Shouldn't we also help prepare breakfast? Then you go help. I'm busy solving this. So sorry. Then I'll help. Good grief. How can you be like that? The Ushirumi family headship will be given to the person who solves the epitaph. It looks like you've given up from the beginning as if it has nothing to do with you. But if you can solve it, there's a chance you'll be able to even receive the headship. This is a chance to steal everything from Nissan. Why aren't you taking such a once-in-a-lifetime chance more seriously? Rosa hung her head, unsure as to how she should answer. Too late, she regretted carelessly speaking to her sister when she was in a bad mood. If you've noticed anything, say so. Even though Kairi-san and I were thinking hard, you just kept nodding your head, didn't you? Come on, isn't there anything you've noticed? Come on, isn't there anything going on up inside that head of yours? Don't you think this part is strange? Strange. What is? It's just that this whole section's written like a journey to the Golden Land, right? You reach the Golden Land and then you receive the treasures. What's your point? You think there's some sort of keyword tied to those treasures? No, not the treasure themselves. Look, in the 10th twilight, isn't how you receive the treasures strange? Huh? Why does it say we'll receive the treasures once and for the last time? If we only get them once, then there's no point telling us it's the last time. And the same thing in reverse. I'm probably splitting hairs over nothing if you think about it. This is his father we're talking about after all. He probably just said it in a way to make it sound more dramatic. Boring. Oh, what is boring? Boring. My, what on earth is this child grumbling about? She's probably annoyed by all the tips you gave Battler-sama, madame. Not really. That doesn't annoy me. On the contrary, I'm happy to see that useless Battler finally reach a level where he can match me. Ho-ho? Did Battler-kun and I get a little too close? Perhaps us old fogies had best leave you young'uns alone? Pukuku? When Virgilia and Renova giggled and cackled, Beatrice's irritation meter finally reached its limits. God, enough of everyone laughing at me. Renova, vanish for a while, disappear, certainly. Then I shall rest for the time being. Pukuku. Renova bowed his head, still laughing, and vanished. After all that remained was the grumpy and irritated figure of Beatrice and Virgilia, who was coolly enjoying her tea. When you said there are no more than 18 people on this island, you actually cornered yourself. I knew it. I did have this feeling it might be a bit too early. I suppose that was right after all, wasn't it? If you had led him further astray first, things might have been different. But as it was, that trump card was a real waste. You ended up rousing him instead. In addition to denying the witch, Battler had possessed a second victory condition. One of explaining everything without suspecting one of the 18. It was at that point, when he'd been tossed about by two opposing goals, that his heart shouldn't have been at its weakest. However, Beatrice had used the red carelessly, proclaiming that there were no more than 18 people. Because of that, Battler had been forced to suspect one of the 18. And he had finally begun to build up the resolve he needed to accept that. I think there was a saying, he who chases two hares catches none. I don't know. Battler was stubborn, but that was exactly why fissures would run all through him, like breaking china when he was stuck in a fragile spot. That itself should have been his greatest weak point, but did I get a little too careless after my complete victory last time? Yes, you were too careless. The last game was a difficult one for Battler-kun, but it seems this game will become a difficult one for you. A broken vase will never return to its original form, so it would be more constructive to think of a next move rather than gratefully picking up the next pieces. However, now that Battler has figured out as much as he has, how should I plot against him? Ho-ho, you trouble face is even a better snack than Renove's cookies. Ooh, you and Battler, even Renove are treating me like sweets now. Even though I am not sweet at all. What is shameful, with a shameful and childlike face that she would never have shown in front of Battler, Beatrice rolled her head around on top of the table. Teacher, at least give me a hint. Oh? What kind of hint? Didn't you just murder me? Also, while there are some things that can break apart and never be the same, some things are weaker, some things get stronger. If you know some really good moves that'll leave Battler speechless and make him want to accept me, I won't ask you to say it outright, so even if it's just a hint. Oh, I can't. I am on Battler-kun soon right now, so I couldn't teach you something that would give you an advantage. What's a Virgilia's incentive? Come on, don't be so stingy. Your disciple's in trouble, right? I seem to remember you brazenly boasting that you had surpassed your teacher. Ooh, please act like an old person and give me just a bit of your crafty ideas. Please. It's mean if you only help Battler. My. You're still a spoiled child. But it's true that I may have given Battler-kun a few too many hints. It did serve as a scolding to you, but perhaps it was a little too much support for a fair game. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Please, teacher. At least just a hint for now. This is only a hint. Think about what it means by yourself, okay? Yeah. I'll think about it myself, so please. Please, give me one that'll leave Battler down in the dumps, teacher. Considering how she acted like a great and mighty witch in front of Battler, the way she acted when he wasn't around was truly pathetic. Virgilia sighed how childish Beato still was, despite all the time that had passed. Then, just a hint. Do you know of Aesop's fable, The North Wind and the Sun? Of course. Aesop wrote a lot of fables. It's a story about how the North Wind and the Sun challenge each other to see who can steal the cloak off a traveler. That's right. Violent, impatient methods aren't necessarily the best decisions in all cases. You don't have to tell me that. I've already reflected on the mistakes I made when I was too anxious to achieve victory. Think well about what this means. And furthermore, there's one point that Battler seems to be misunderstanding a bit, but he isn't the only one. Do you understand the victory conditions of this game? What else is there other than making Battler surrender? See? You're already wrong there. How am I wrong? Your victory isn't making Battler-kun surrender. Isn't it making Battler-kun accept your existence? What's this? You want me to butter him up, begging him to accept me as a witch? I mean, technically that would still be a victory for you. Again, your victory condition isn't defeating him and making him accept you as a witch. It's making him accept you as a witch and your existence and your powers by any means necessary. The idea is this. It is a very bad idea to try to force him to accept you via violence or coercion. If anything, that's just going to make him more resistant to you. But if you could, I don't know, go with the honey approach rather than fucking vinegar. There's also the fact that if he loses, it's just such a huge detrimental punishment on his side. At simply a point, between your methods and the end result, he is incentivized to not accept you. So the idea is, rather than just trying to beat him the fuck down, why don't you just try to be a nice person? Being a witch doesn't mean you have to be like a supervillain from a fucking horror movie. How foolish. I haven't sunk that low. What, low enough to be a decent human being? Or to be caring or kind to people? Or that, oh, you want people to accept or respect you? How about treat them like people? Or, you want them to care? How about you care? Grr, Beato growled like a dog in a bad mood. Oh, you're asking me to be a good person. Oh, it's horrible. Virgilia shrugged her shoulders, snickering at her disciple, who was as short-tempered as ever. That is my hint. Stop being a bitch. For the rest, you'll have to consider deeply on your own. I mean, that's the hint, but like the outright statement of like, if we're being like just giving her the answer, it's like the hint is, oh, the Aesop's table of the wind and the sun, as opposed to like just telling her straight out, stop being a bitch, Beatrice. Your goal isn't to defeat Battler, it's just to make him accept you. So, rather than attacking him, how about you just stop being a bitch? Like, I'm pretty sure if I encountered a magical person and they were like blowing up buildings with fireballs, saying accept me, I'm like, fuck you. The same regard, if like Sylvia from Konosuba showed up and like, oh, it's a beautiful woman with giant titties and a cock, and she's just being really nice to me. Oh, what's this? Affection? Okay, I'm good. It's like, Lunar is receptive to affection and being treated with, then again, just in general, most of my life, I've like, kind of felt like everyone hates me. So, Heck, I don't remember really what a hug feels like, so that'd definitely be a starting point. At the end of the day, I think the person would have a little bit of a struggle with the fact that I'm a bit jaded from my negative experiences, at which point, how do you overcome that? Simple. By just being kinder and more affectionate and patient. The end. That's how you win against me. By just being nice to me. In any event, your moves up until now will not work on Ballercoon. A significant tactical adjustment will probably be required. I don't need you to tell me that. I don't have a clue what you mean by North Wind and the Sun. Stop being a bitch. You could just be nice. You could just be nice to Battler. Treat him like a person. And, you know, with kindness. And maybe, like, dote on him a bit. And everyone's like, what's the word doting mean? It means uncritically fond of the person. Basically means you respect them and you're very caring. But at any rate, I realize I'll have to alter my course. I'll introduce a scheme clever enough to surprise even you, teacher. Oh? I look forward to it. Okay, I'm trying to tell you to, like, the strategy is stop being a bitch. And you're taking it as I should be a more underhanded bitch. I'm like, no. No, you're getting it wrong, Mr. Burns. I wonder how Ballercoon will tackle that. I wish you good luck as well. After Battler, you mean? Are you going to give up and resign already? I guess you are that tired. If only you just grab a futon and sleep. As my mind grew vague and I pretended to fight my drowsiness, while sinking deeper and deeper into the sofa, I scolded myself. You also dreamed about stealing possession of family head from Kraus, right? Even though my magic's given you a chance, are you already throwing it away? You could say that, but... Okay, if you want me to try harder, give me a Red Bull. This riddle is really hard. Even a wire puzzle would be better. At least in that case you know for sure that it's solvable. But in the case of the epitaph riddle, we've been given no reason to be sure of that. I might just be fighting a useless battle. Still hazy, I looked at the notebook I'd been holding this whole time. It was open to a page with the epitaph, which I must have stared at hard enough to burn holes in it on so many hundreds of nights I'd lost count. That page is truly a door. On the other side lies the Golden Land, the place I've wanted to drag myself to no matter the effort since I was a child, and the place I was never able to reach. Am I touching the door with both my hands? With the book, no, the door right there in front of me, ready to be opened, and yet still unable to reach the other side. That's right. Your hand is already on the door. Come on, open it with all your strength. And read the characters written on the door. Open it with all my strength. Read the characters written on the door. Strain your eyes, see through the thing beyond the epitaph, written in the notebook. We're just like, go cross-eyed. My beloved hometown definitely won't betray our expectations. The only past father held dear happened during his childhood. That's right. Then what about the Sweetfish River? There are several rivers where they swim, and there is reason to doubt that this just refers to one closer place Father Riv. If we take out a map and start calculating which rivers the Sweetfish are closest, things will quickly get vague, and we won't be able to narrow it down. Didn't you say it yourself? You said it didn't have to be a river with water flowing down it. If the word Sweetfish is too common, why not forget it? Think of a river. A river. Linking it with the family tree wasn't a bad idea. Try thinking about how to link a river with something along those lines. Else along those lines. It isn't a river, but where else could a sweetfish swim? Oh, but if we're talking about places where sweetfish can swim, then maybe the ocean has something to do with this? Did my husband even say that they go out into the ocean, even though they're river fish? To the ocean. No. But... Huh? Did you notice? But that's just a faint memory. There's supposed to be a room storing books in this building, right? If you investigate, you can make sure. If that's the Sweetfish River, and if the key might be a 6-character word, then could the key actually be resting in that river? I don't know. Anyway, I have to search in an atlas. But even if I know that, I don't know from what I should take the 6 characters. You really don't know? Think deeply. We're pretty smart, so our ideas are solid. Don't think of it like something as massive as a riddle epitaph, but like it's a child's riddle. Men are always children, no matter how old they get. Even if father has advanced into old age, that doesn't change the fact that he's essentially a child at heart. Throw away your awe of father. Think of this like it's a worthless, infantile game of riddles, like the ones Maria suddenly brought out on the boat. Riddles. Worthless, infantile. Huh? I'm sure I'm sure if my memory isn't wrong, that it's probably the case. No, I don't have to rely on my vague memory. I should be able to figure that out immediately by searching the library. We've probably already noticed the same answer. All that's left is to investigate whether it's correct or not. Come on, Ava. Let's go to the library, making sure no one sees us. There, we should be able to find a mountain of thick books that don't fit in Father's study. I'm sure we'll find a book that answers our question quickly. This is the first and last chance we'll ever get to make our dreams come true. When Natsui tried to lay a blanket over her, Ava suddenly jumped up. I'm sorry. It looks like I woke you. Ava, if you're sleepy, don't overdo it. You rest first. Thank you. I'm just going to go to the bathroom for a bit to wash my face. You should take it easy and rest. You're just gonna make yourself feel worse, you know. I told you I'm fine. I'll be right back. After leaving only those words behind, I rapidly left the lobby. The lobby was partitioned off by a door. As soon as I went into the corridor, they could no longer see me. The library was next to the servant room.